There comes a moment when you realize something feels off, but you can't explain why. No one is openly disrespecting you. No one is attacking you. Yet somehow you feel smaller, heavier, more drained after every interaction. That's because the most dangerous form of being used is not loud. It's quiet, polite, almost invisible. You are valued, but only when you are convenient. Appreciated, but only when you give. Remembered, but only when something is needed. Stoicism teaches a hard truth most people avoid. Not everyone who smiles at you respects you. Not everyone who stays close values you. Some people don't want you to be happy. They want you available, and the longer you ignore this pattern, the more it costs you. In energy, in self-respect, and eventually in identity. What you're about to hear isn't about blame. It's about clarity. Why good people get used. Good people don't get used to being weak. They get used because they are open. They listen longer than they should. They give without keeping score. They assume others operate with the same integrity they do. Stoicism points out the flaw in that assumption. Character is rare. Self-control is rarer. Most people are not looking for mutual respect. They are looking for relief from responsibility, from loneliness, from effort. So when someone finds a person who is patient, capable, and emotionally available, they don't see a human being. They see a resource. And here is the uncomfortable truth. People don't exploit kindness by accident. They notice it. They test it. And when there is no resistance, they expand. Kindness without boundaries is not virtue. It is an invitation. Stoicism teaches this clearly. Your good nature must be protected by discipline, or it will be consumed. Sign 1. You're only valued when you're useful. Pay attention to when they show up. They don't call to check on you. They don't ask how you're doing. But the moment they need advice, help, money, time, or emotional support, you hear from them. Your presence alone is not enough. Your value activates only when you provide something. Stoicism teaches that respect is revealed through consistency, not convenience. A relationship built on usefulness is not connection, it's access. Notice the pattern. When you stop giving, the attention fades. The warmth disappears. The effort vanishes. That is not a coincidence. That is clarity. You are not being valued. You are being leveraged. A Stoic does not confront this with anger. He responds with distance. He reduces availability. He removes access. And he watches carefully. Because when usefulness is the price of being seen, walking away is not a loss. It is self-respect. Sign 2. Your needs are always not the right time. When you need support, there's always a delay. They're busy, they're tired, they'll get back to you later. But when they need something, the urgency is immediate. Your time is expected. Your presence is assumed. This imbalance is not accidental. It reveals priority. Stoicism teaches that respect appears most clearly when effort is inconvenient. Anyone can be present when it costs them nothing. Notice the pattern. Your needs are postponed. Theirs are treated as emergencies. Over time, you adjust. You ask for less. You expect less. That quiet shrinking is the warning sign. A Stoic does not demand fairness. He observes consistency. He stops overextending. He mirrors effort. He lets actions, not words, reveal the truth. Because when someone is never available for you, but always available to take from you, the relationship is not unbalanced. It is one-sided. Sign 3. You feel guilty for setting normal boundaries. Every time you say no, something inside you tightens. Not because your request is unreasonable, but because you've been trained to feel guilty for protecting yourself. You start explaining. You soften your tone. You justify needs that require no justification. Stoicism exposes this clearly. Guilt is often the tool, not the emotion. When someone benefits from your lack of boundaries, your boundaries become a threat to them. So guilt is introduced, quietly, subtly, to pull you back into compliance. Pay attention to this signal. Healthy people respect limits. Manipulative people react to them. A Stoic understands this difference. He does not over-explain. He does not seek permission to have limits. He does not apologize for self-respect. Because the moment saying no feels wrong, saying yes begins to cost you something far more valuable: your identity. Sign 4. Your value decreases the more you give. This is the quiet paradox most people miss. The more you show up, the more you help, the more you sacrifice, the less you are respected. At first, gratitude is expressed, then it becomes expectation. Eventually, it turns into entitlement. Stoicism explains why this happens. What is always available is rarely valued. What requires no effort invites no respect. Overgiving does not build closeness. It teaches others that your time, energy, and presence are cheap. So when you finally pull back, they don't ask why you're tired. They accuse you of changing. That accusation is the proof. A Stoic does not correct this with arguments. He corrects it with distance. He gives less. He observes more. He lets silence do the teaching. Because when your value rises only after you withdraw, it was never appreciation keeping them close. It was access. Sign 5. They support your pain, but resist your growth. This is the most revealing sign of all. They are comfortable when you struggle. They listen when you doubt yourself. They stay close when you feel lost. But the moment you grow stronger, something shifts. Your confidence makes them uneasy. Your independence creates distance. Your progress is met with silence, sarcasm, or subtle discouragement. Stoicism cuts through the illusion. Some people don't want you healed. They want you manageable. Your pain keeps you accessible. Your growth removes their leverage. That's why they tolerate your suffering but quietly resist your evolution. A Stoic recognizes this without resentment. He doesn't argue. He doesn't announce his departure. He continues to grow without asking permission, because anyone threatened by your progress was never invested in your future. And when growth creates distance, that distance is not lost. It is alignment, Stoic distinction, forgiveness versus access. Stoicism draws a line most people confuse. Forgiveness is internal. Access is external. You can release anger without reopening the door. You can let go of resentment without restoring closeness. Forgiveness frees your mind. Access determines who gets proximity to your life. Many people blur these two and call it virtue. Stoicism calls it carelessness. Marcus Aurelius warned that peace is not found by changing others, but by governing what you allow near your mind and time. You do not owe continued access to anyone who repeatedly disrespects your boundaries. You do not need confrontation to justify distance. You do not need closure to move on. A Stoic forgives to remain calm. He withdraws to remain aligned. Because forgiveness protects your inner world, but access shapes your future. And your future deserves discernment, not sentiment. Quiet Withdrawal Manifesto. You don't need to expose anyone. You don't need to accuse. You don't need to explain what they did wrong. Stoic withdrawal is not an emotional reaction. It is a measured decision. You step back without drama. You reduce access without hostility. You let silence replace justification, not because you are afraid of conflict, but because your peace is no longer negotiable. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the strongest man is the one who remains master of himself, and nothing tests that mastery more than walking away calmly. You stop giving where it is not respected. You stop showing up where you are only tolerated. You stop investing where growth is resisted. This is not punishment, it is alignment. Quiet withdrawal is how you reclaim energy. It is how you restore self-respect. It is how you move forward without dragging the past behind you. Walk away without noise. That is Stoic strength.